Welcome back to another video. There are so many builds you can play in V-Rising, but it's hard to find out what's the best. Today I will show you detailed what the best build is. If you don't want to miss a broken build, check part 1 on my channel. Sadly, even in 1.1, magic is still worse than physical. You have massive damage on your spells as well as spell lifesteal. Draculin Scholar, what is the best magic blood type, has also a good amount of cooldown recovery and movement speed. The only real issue is when you face a very good player that plays physical. He can dodge or counter your spells always somehow, and even if you hit them, they will do more damage with the weapons to you, and you can't avoid that. This is the only disadvantage, so when your other enemy doesn't have a very good amount of PvP experience, this is the best build in V-Rising. You can use any spells with this build. Some are better, some are worse than others. If you play with Frost, I highly recommend to use Chill Wave. This passive inflicts cold after breaking the freeze. With this you can make insane freezing combos, as you saw for example in the intro. When you want to play with one spell with high value, like the Unholy Chain or Chillerbolt, use Frost Barrier and Frost Veil to support the spell. If you want to use abilities you can spam, you could play without any counters or with Bloodfight. In this case I would use Chaos Dash or Veil of Illusion to get more mobility. You can also use Frost Veil of course to increase your freezing ability. Use on the weapon, spell crit power, movement speed and spell cooldown to maximize your stats. You can use any counting what you want, it depends mostly on the spells you're playing. You use this armor in combination with the blue amulet. And here are the stats for the best magic build. You maximize your complete spell power and have also solid movement speed as well as spell cooldown rate, and the spell life leech is also very high. And here you can see the passives. All of them are very important for the stats. What you can swap is the Dark Enchantment. I recommend when you have Frost combo spells, so as you saw in the video, the Frostbat and the Void, you can go with Chill Wave instead of the Dark Enchantment. Also when you want extra spell life leech, go just Hunger for Blood, or Embrace Mephian is also very strong and underrated. Now we come to the top 3, Warrior, Rogue. Warrior has the best damage by far, but it lacks in survivability. It is a very strong build, also with the weapon charges, but it has less mobility than a Rogue or less tankiness than a Brute, while only dealing a little amount of more damage. There are 2 ways to build the Warrior. The first one focuses more on the weapon skill, while the other one is very similar to the Rogue build. You could also remove your movement speed completely and max your physical stat, but this I would not really recommend, except you want really high damage output. Let's talk about the spells. You can use this build with any physical build you want. The spell combination synergizes very well with each other. It gives you very nice extra damage, inflicts status effects and works perfectly with the red amulet. You can also use static veil instead of illusion. Also important note to add is that with every other counter you have to play with Blood Rage, otherwise you will miss out a lot of healing. You play the Warrior Blood in combination with Rogue, otherwise you have a lower damage output than other builds. Use movement speed and attack speed on the weapon, otherwise these stats are very low, and physical power to boost your damage even higher. Use the Shadow Moon armor and the red amulet. These are the stats when you are using this build. This version I have right now equipped focuses more on weapon skills, while you see later the Rogue version has more physical crit power. For the weapon skill version you can use Overpowered and Ravenous strikes, while the Rogue version you play with Feudal Haste to max your movement speed and Lethal Strikes to increase your damage overall. But keep in mind you will lose a lot of weapon skill value. Now just watch at my beautiful paint-mated graphic to compare the blood types. In this fantastic graphic you can see every benefit each build has over the other. With Brute Rogue you have increased health and also healing, cause the Veil attack heal scales with your max HP. This is very important because the Veil attack is probably the most valuable attack in the game. The increased health also benefits very well with the Blood Veil and can make you in the right setup nearly unkillable. With this extra health you can also trade way more health than other blood types. Rogue Brute gives you on the other hand more crit power. When you calculate the crit chance into it you have overall 8% damage increase. When we add the chance you gain extra by the armor and the blood, the damage output is about 12% higher than this by a Brute. You also have 40% Veil cooldown that gives you the Veil about 1 second earlier. As you can see, these builds aren't very different, but in my opinion the Rogue Brute gets the second place. The reason for this is that you rather have way more survivability than damage. Also the extra movement speed or Veil cooldown you will not even notice in combat. Even in top level PvP you will get damage sometimes. And you rather have 30% more HP to trade damage and way better lifesteal than only minor mobility and about 12% extra damage output. But in some cases Rogue Brute is better, especially in the early game or when you don't have the best stats on your weapons or passives. You rather have necessary stats like crit chance and movement speeds than survivability. And the easiest way to achieve this is with Rogue Blood. So in the open world it's a risky pick to play this build. It can help you to kill targets faster, but if you play against an equal good player with Brute Blood you will struggle. Or against a full team you are way squishier and can die sometimes in seconds. Mix the Rogue Blood with the first aspect of the Brute Blood to increase your attack speed and physical power. You can use any coating you want except the blood one, but I highly recommend the Unholy and Illusion. Use the Elixir of the Raven to max your crit stats. On the weapons you should use attack speed, crit power and physical power. You can use on weapons you won't attack normally bonus weapon skill damage as well. This is important in every physical build to know what weapon you are using for which reason and to put the right stats on that. Should use the Shadow Moon armor and the Light Blue Amulet for the shield and the extra spell cooldown recovery. These are the passives. They are the same as in the Brute build and you can either remove Lethal Strike or Feudal Haste to get Sanguine Mastery with blood spells or extra survivability with Dark Enchantment. When you remove the Feudal Haste you can use the Green Amulet to max the movement speed, but I would do this only in team fights. And in the number 1 spot of the best builds in Re-Rising we have the Brute Blood in combination with Rogue. But what makes it better than for example Warrior? It's simple, the Brute Blood has a parry that decreases your damage gain, and if you activate it, it boosts your physical power a lot. Also the health is insane in combination with good damage and lifesteal. You play with Rogue Blood because you can break the armor of the enemy to deal even more damage. The Rogue Blood gives you also 16 crit chance and 8 crit power, what is way more efficient than any other bonuses you can get from one source. You also don't miss out any other important stats. You have high attack speed, especially with Rampage, and max movement speed. Here are the stats and the equipment. You can use instead of attack speed and movement speed weapon skill power and crit power on your weapon. In the open world I mostly play with double counter because it's very good against teamers and low skill players. If you have any questions, write them in the comments, leave a like and subscribe, and see ya in the next video. If you want you can continue watch some gameplay.